Gutierrez. Gutierrez, 40 years of age, and he's giving away 20 pounds, and he's giving away 7 inches in height and 9 inches in reach. So we'll see if Chapman can use those physical advantages to his advantage during the bout. For the introductions, here's our ring announcer, Joe Antonacci.
Boxing fans, this bout is scheduled for 10 rounds of action for the WBC Latino Heavyweight Championship. Our judges overseeing this bout are Larry Hazard Jr., Tom Schreck, and Melvina Lathan. And a referee for this bout will be Ken Ezzo. Introducing first in the blue corner, he comes to us tonight from Oak Lawn, Illinois. He weighed in at 222 pounds, wears black trunks. Professional record 15 victories, only 1 defeat, 1 draw, and 6 knockouts. Please welcome Ed, the Iron Man Gutierrez. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner. He comes to us tonight from Mansfield, Arkansas. He weighed in at 242 pounds, red trunks with white trim. Perfect professional record, 22 victories, no defeats, 20 knockouts. He is the current NABC heavyweight champion. Please welcome JD, the Natural Chapman. Referee Ken Ezzo with our instructions.
Let's go, gentlemen. Let's go, gentlemen. Gentlemen, we went through the instructions in the dressing room. I expect you to obey those rules at all times and obey my commands at all times. Touch them up. Good luck to both of you.
So JD
10
Chapman
rounds.
And Edward Gutierrez getting set to square off. These two faced off on December the 15th of last year in Hollywood, Florida. And Chapman came up with a 12-round unanimous decision victory. Chapman has recorded 9 first-round knockouts in his career.
And their last fight that you said was a decision for Chapman for, he won it. It was actually one-sided, but Gutierrez said that he had been sick before the fight. He took it on last-second notice. He said, tonight will be different. And we've heard those stories before. Let's see if he can live up to his promise.
Chapman feels like he's living a dream. He's quoted as saying, I come from nowhere, Mansfield, Arkansas, and I've hooked up with a world-class manager and trainer. They've picked me straight out of the hayfield, and now I'm in the ring with former champions.
Holding side stop, gentlemen.
I got lucky to be given this opportunity. It's almost surreal. Let's see if he can make it pay off. Working with Jeff Mayweather.
Get off the neck.
Now Chapman's got the size, he's got the reach, he's got the height, he's got the youth, he's got the strength. He's got to keep this thing in ring center. He's got to control it with his jab, and that will set everything else up.
Get out of there, get out of there.
You cannot allow Gutierrez to get inside and then do work like he did there, hooking to the body.
That's his fight. He's got to get on the inside. And once he does, he likes to rough a fighter up, wear him down, slow him down. And he's pretty good defensively, too. You'll watch as he keeps his chin down, he keeps his left shoulder up, picks a lot of shots off with the shoulder. Now watch him drop the head and start to give the left shoulder. So there's that left shoulder coming in.
Chapman sees that. What does he need to do?
He's just got to move in. He's got to throw some left hooks because what he's doing is Gutierrez is turning his left side in, and he's wide open for left hooks.
Gutierrez blocked that exchange from Chapman.
See, they know each other. I'm surprised they're really feeling each other out. They went 12 rounds a number of months ago. They shouldn't be feeling each other out this much. Gutierrez should be jumping on him and piling up points right from the get-go.
Final seconds of round number 1. Feeling out process for J.D. Chapman and Edward Gutierrez.
And also, when you get in, you got to throw short punches. Hit that head a little more. You can't keep your elbows there. You're going with the elbows are higher. I don't want them elbows up in the air. Okay? The elbows are a little high. That's why you punch with a little uppercut punch. Okay? See when you hit with that right, you got to come back. The hook. And then when you get inside, I want you to start exploding those punches. Put it on the bag, those sprints. That's not what you do. All right, let's keep them hands up high. Keep on doing it like that.
Seconds out. Stay in your corner.
Round number 2 underway. Gotham Boxing from New York City. Bob Popper, Randy Gordon ringside. Heavyweights J.D. Chapman in the red, Edward Gutierrez in the black. A rematch of a bout they had on December the 15th of last year. Chapman won a 12-round decision. Chapman talked about the fact that he has world-class trainers and he feels lucky being taken out of the hayfields and been given this opportunity. No amateur experience. He was a tough man competition, and they would not let him participate in amateur boxing. So he's kind of raw.
There's only one name that really comes to mind. A guy who went to the top without any amateur experience is former light heavyweight champion Dwight Muhammad Qawi. No amateur experience, did his fighting in the streets of Jersey.
He was fun to watch.
Camden Buzzsaw.
You know, you look at the physical stature, the measurables, as they like to say, and all the advantages are in Chapman's favor. But so far, Randy, through the first round and a half, he is not using those God-given tools.
I was having trouble with Gutierrez, who's pretty good defensively. He's in, he's out, he's up, he's down. He's got that left shoulder dipping, and he keeps that chin down. He's a very hard man to hit with a combination. Forget one shot. I mean, you're not going to get a combination in.
Let him go inside.
See, some of those shots are landing, but he's rolling with the shots. He's really not getting hit with hard shots. Chapman might be piling up points as he does it.
I guess what you want to see from the taller man is double the jab up, but throw it with some kind of assertiveness rather than just laying it out there.
You know, if I had to tell him to watch a tape of anybody, 2 guys, let me give you 2 guys. One would be former heavyweight champion Sonny Liston, big tall guy with that incredible left hand with a straight right hand right down the pipe. And then, of course, George Foreman, 6'4", 230 pounds, threw bombs with either hand. That's what a heavyweight should do, especially when you're this big.
I might make a cut-up of Larry Holmes using his jab and say, try that too.
Larry had that just gift, one of the greatest, probably the greatest left jab of any heavyweight in history.
Chapman trying to let his hands go. Gutierrez smothering most of these punches as we come to the end of the second round in a scheduled 10-round heavyweight bout.
Get that left hand up, though.
J.D. Chapman.
Body language there. on the ropes like that. Put your hands in your lap, sit up straight, take a deep breath. Get your hands off the ropes.
Round number 3 underway. 10-round heavyweight bout. Not a lot has happened so far in the bout. It's really which guy is going to take control as far as the work rate. If you're Gutierrez, you're getting inside a little bit, tying up, moving away, making it an awkward fight. What should he be doing?
He's got to put pressure on. We've seen it so many times before where the shorter fighter lays back on the outside, and that's not what shorter fighters should be doing. They should be doing the Joe Frazier, the Rocky Marciano, pounding Chapman's arms, pounding him anywhere you can, because those shots stay with you like a bad meal. And later in the fight, that's when Chapman's arms have been dropping and hanging at his side.
Chapman's going to allow Gutierrez to get inside. Gutierrez might as well do some work in there.
Gutierrez, you see, he's in close, keeping his hands up, initiating the clinch. That was a somewhat feeble attempt at a left uppercut. But he walks in, keeps his hands up, blocks a few punches, and in comes the referee one more time. The referee's going to have a lot of work in this fight if this keeps up like this.
He does block most of it. As you mentioned earlier, kind of turning with some of the punches, rolling with them. His gloves up.
But he's just not throwing.
Right. I mean, you can't give a guy a round for doing that.
I mean, there's no question he's showing us some pretty good defense, but there's no offense with it whatsoever.
Lunging left hand to the chin, scored by Chapman. Corner of Chapman saying, come on, work, punch.
There we go. That one drew a smile from Chapman, but he got hit right on the squash with a right hand. Gutierrez showing us that Mike Tyson defense. Remember how he would turn his hands, kind of palms outward? Watch when he stands back there. He'll do the same thing. Up go those hands. Like the peekaboo defense.
Mostly off the shoulder of Chapman. Third round coming to an end. Neither man has been willing to open up as Gutierrez scores with a right hand.
You gotta do that more. You understand? You gotta do that more. I want you to start throwing that hook like that, that right hand, okay? Start throwing it. Stay busy, man.
We're busy last time, get busy now, right?
Come on.
Let's go.
Pretty simple. The corner of Gutierrez says,
Hey,
you just got to be busier. Throw more of those hooks. Be busier.
Using your jab going in, and when you hook,
That's what we're saying. He's got to get close. He can't throw six punches around, land those punches, and hope to win. Here he's close. Peekaboo. The left hook, the right hand, and then what happens? He puts his hands up, walks back in, they clinch again.
Back this man up.
Just not enough work from Gutierrez.
Start backing him up. When you throw that right hand, come back with the hook. When you hook, come back with the right. When you make that little move like this, let them hands go. Let them go. Come on, let them hands go.
Round 4 has begun. J.D. Chapman from Mansfield, Arkansas, 22-0, 20 knockouts. In the red, he's 23 years of age. Edward Gutierrez. In the black, 15-1-1, 6 knockouts.
Referee has to warn Chapman about shoving his opponent away and then punching. George Foreman used to do that. He used to bang his hands off a guy's shoulders, and he was so strong he'd go flying across the ring.
Gutierrez steps in.
His hardest punch of the fight, not even a question about it. Now, why can he do that over and over?
These two fought back in December. Chapman a 12-round decision. You take a look at Chapman's resume, and at 22-0 with 20 knockouts.
Gentlemen, watch the heads. Get back.
First 12 fights in Arkansas, 13 fighters in Kansas, and then another couple at Arkansas. 3 of Chapman's wins have come against Calvin Miller, who's a robust 5-19. So Gutierrez, one of the more demanding challenges that he has faced in the ring.
Well, as we talked about earlier, the problem that Chapman could have early in his career is that he didn't have any amateur fights. And you need to build on that. You need to take an amateur career into the pros and have some experience with it. He doesn't have that experience.
Gutierrez was off balance, and that's why you can give a guy sometimes a pass on a resume when there's a same opponent and the guy's well below 500. It's when you see a guy who comes out of the amateurs with extensive experience fighting that kind of competition early in his career where you can raise a question mark. But basically, Chapman is having an amateur career as a professional.
Exactly, so they really have to take their time with him. He's got the age on his side, so he can spend a few years just building up what I call confidence builders. Guys who will fight just enough back, let you learn, and you're going to win the fight. Because unfortunately, undefeated records really do mean something. I've never paid attention to that, but a lot of the networks and everything, an undefeated fighter is a very marketable fighter. One little loss sometimes can hurt a fighter.
Very, very lazy effort there from Chapman. No zip on the punches whatsoever. 4th round coming to an end. Scheduled for 10.
Go right through him, I'm telling you. Understand? Almost 50 shots. Right over the top, man. Explode on this guy with the punches. Okay? Start doubling your punches up. Stop, don't jump in. Weave in. Weave inside. Don't jump in. Right down the middle.
Ain't nobody doing nothing. That's your jab. Somebody got to look your hands up.
Don't let him get close to you. Get him double jabs. 1, 2. Check it out. Let's go. Little hustle. Little hustle. Yeah, that's right.
Round number 5 has begun between J.D. Chapman in the red, undefeated 23-year-old, former tough man from Arkansas, and Edward Gutierrez, 15-1-1, fighting out of Illinois. Not a lot of explosions so far in this bout. It's been fought at an awkward pace.
I got to tell you, Bob, the American Medical Association, the AMA, which is always calling for the banning of boxing, if they happen to be watching this one, you see how safe boxing really is.
You mentioned Tyson before with some of that defense from Gutierrez.
It's obvious he's followed Tyson where he's keeping his hands up, turning his fists outwards.
Not a lot of punches, though, have been thrown with bad intention. Even Chapman, a lot of arm.
And that's funny because there's a lot of body there, and he's in decent shape. He's got to let those punches go.
Watch the heads break it right there. Watch that head coming in.
If you're in the corner of Chapman, and he has good corner people, Jeff Mayweather's trainer, what would you be telling him in between rounds? What would you want to see Randy Gordon, the trainer?
First of all, I don't know if I'd be telling him that much. I think I'd be lighting a fire underneath his stool, getting him out there. He wouldn't want to come back to the corner. He's got to throw the punches. He's got to put those, as you just said, bad intentions on his punches. That jab is kind of pawing out there. And now they're just, look at this, they're pushing each other. You know, where is that going to get either guy? If one guy pushes, the other guy should take a step back and throw a short right hand. telling you, Chapman, somebody should send him a tape of George Foreman. Let him watch the powerful jab. Let him watch that short, hard right hand right from the shoulder. Let him watch those uppercuts. And that's a great shot to use against a fighter who comes down low. An uppercut, a right uppercut.
Right there, gentlemen.
Usually you duck right into it. See, he's leaning backwards too, Gutierrez. When he's on the outside, he leans backwards. He's completely off balance. So open for a jab. And he pokes in. He landed that good. It was a stiff right hand Gutierrez did. There's an uppercut. Finally, Chapman has thrown the uppercut. I think he sees now, if he uses it enough, maybe he'll start getting it home.
Right to the midway point of the bout, the end of the 5th round. Who wants to win this one? Who will assert themselves in the second half of the bout?
These close rounds, you understand? Can't give it to him, okay? Take a deep breath, let it out slow.
Well, corner, Gutierrez saying the right thing. Get inside. Let the hands go. Let them go. Round number 6. J.D. Chapman, Edward Gutierrez. You could make the case, Randy Gordon, that Chapman is winning some of these rounds by default.
Oh, there's no question about it. He's doing just enough to win it, but I think Gutierrez is doing more to lose it.
But, you know, that's the way we're looking at it. With 3 judges ringside, you know, they might, some of these rounds that we've sort of kind of just given to Chapman, easily 1 or 2 of those, they could have said, well, you know, the Gutierrez guy, the guy in the black, has been at least a little bit more aggressive. There's been not a lot in these rounds to distinguish it for either boxer.
Yeah, I tend to forget that. We're sitting here scoring this stuff, but we really don't count. 3 judges out there do. And it's funny because judges see the fight. They see the same fight that we do. They see the same fight that everybody else is watching, except they see it from 3 different angles. And that's why the scores are always different.
See Larry Hazard Jr. seated ringside. You saw there's Melvina Lathan in the red through the ropes on an elevated chair, so they have a little bit better angle. Right hand to the stomach, landed by Gutierrez. But again, he did not heed his corners in fights and stayed busy on the inside.
Got a little tape that just came loose from the glove of Gutierrez.
Canozo will get that squared up.
But what will probably happen, because the gloves are so wet, the tape is so wet, if they're using regular adhesive tape, expect that to start unraveling soon.
Will Gutierrez work more on the inside?
Well, he just tried to work there, and as soon as he got close, he ate a couple of little pecks with the left hand.
Watch the head inside.
Nice try with the right uppercut by Gutierrez.
Hand to the body from Chapman.
Now they're close. This is where Gutierrez should be working. Bang the arms, bang the body, work, move those hands. And he's not doing it. He throws 1 or 2 shots and steps out.
And he allows himself to get tied up. That's what he needs to make hay inside.
You know what? To me, this round, Gutierrez is actually landing more shots than he's taking.
Fifth round coming to its finality. Scheduled 10-round heavyweight bout. J.D. Chapman, Edward Gutierrez. Corner of Gutierrez.
I mean it. You understand? They're not going to give you this fight if you fight like this. You got to start picking it up to another level. You hear me?
Throw, buddy. Come on.
You got to start throwing some jabs. You got to start making something happen inside. And your defense is your best weapon. Your offense is your best weapon. Start throwing some punches. You hear me? Bend your knees a little bit. When you get in, start throwing up. Start throwing up. Touch him to the body. Come up the middle. Okay? And when you throw that right hand, you got to step in with it. You're reaching a little bit. Okay?
Now you heard his corner telling him exactly what we've been saying.
We need these
Work, work, and work. And what happens, he gets close in there, and that one was a swing and a miss.
You hear me? Let's go. Come on. Throw that right hand, come back with the hook. When you get inside, I want you to explode. Let's go.
From his trainer.
Let's go.
They're not going to give you a decision here.
You hear me?
The other guy's the prospect. He's the young guy. They're not going to hand you two. Work. Make something happen.
I don't care if he was fighting in his backyard, they're not going to give him a decision because he's just not throwing. He's out there bobbing, weaving, coming in, but just not letting the hands go. Now, he's already been 12 rounds back last December, as you said earlier, with the same guy. He's got to know what he's all about.
Nothing being thrown or landed.
That overhand right seems to be the only weapon that Gutierrez really has. A short left hook, an overhand right. The uppercut just is not working. He's trying in there. He tried the uppercut. That was smothered. And that clinch was initiated by Chapman. They get close, and that time he tied him up. Chapman did a nice job of picking off the right hand that time with his left shoulder.
You can make the case at the midway point of this round that neither man has landed a clean punch in this round.
Everything has been smothered. Exactly. Everything has been smothered there. Picked off, smothered. And they're smothering each other.
Step back. Step back.
And this is a round to be stolen by either man with almost 1 minute to go in the round.
Step back.
And both guys can steal it. They have to realize that. That these rounds are very closely contested, and if they could somehow, in the last 30 seconds of the round or so, and a fighter knows when that point comes up, let those hands go, and you will steal the round.
Gutierrez to the left. Chapman countered. Right hand from Gutierrez. And then the waltz continues.
Let him go. Step back clean.
Most of these punches just being blocked by shoulders, arms, gloves.
Let him go inside. Let him go.
We roll to the end of the 7th round. J.P. Chapman, Edward Gutierrez. And a scheduled 10-round heavyweight bout. Gutierrez finally opening up.
Let him go. Out of your corner.
That was slow. You know what that means? You're too close to the guy. You're smothering him. Come on, man. Let's go. Hey, don't move, don't move. Come back. Come back. Move, move. That's it.
Gutierrez and J.D. Chapman. No knockdowns in the bout. Gutierrez coming out winging with left hooks.
Unfortunately, it's 180 seconds in a round, and he's just not doing enough for that. He comes out winging, and then he goes into a shell.
We got to start someplace.
If this was a baseball game, this would be like a double no-hitter with about 40 walks in the game. Just an ugly game.
You mentioned Chapman, 23 years of age in the red, 22-0, 20 knockouts. That resume built on Arkansas Fair. But we must also note, in order of fairness, that Chapman, coming from tough band competition, no amateur experience, so he's learning the pro game the hard way.
Learn as you play.
And there's nothing to really rush with him at 23. It's not like he's 29.
Right, if he was 29, then you'd have to say, let's step up the pace a little bit. But then, hey, you guys fight till they're 50, so what the heck?
Like Gutierrez, he's 40. Work has been a recurring theme from both corners, imploring their boxers to pick up the work rate. Neither man seems willing to do just that.
They swap hooks. See, here's what Chapman's going to learn, to stop cranking up on that hook. And he's landing some solid shots there. But sometimes those shots to the head, he is cranking up on.
Like to see him shorter?
A lot shorter.
Gutierrez started the round aggressively, but he has backed off that tenor. And we come to the end of the 8th round. Slowing down again. Ooh, right hand by Gutierrez over the top. Now that ends the 8th. Some action in round number 8.
Did you say action? Yes, there was some action in that round. A couple of nice shots from Chapman. That one just glanced off the side, but he did throw a lot of shots that round. I thought that was one of his clearest rounds that he won in the entire fight.
And Gutierrez kind of rocked Chapman near the end of the 8th.
But again, just like he started the round, few and far between of those punches from Gutierrez.
Round number 9 underway.
There's one punch from Gutierrez. Chapman threw about 6 or 7 before. Not all landed, but he is working, and the judges have to be impressed with that. You know, there's no way a judge is going to be impressed if you just play defense. Well, unless your name is Willie Pep.
Yeah, that's true.
Floyd Mayweather or something like that, yeah.
Now, these guys fought back in December. They went 12. We have some loose tape again being tended to.
Yeah, so we talk about that all the time. But whenever the tape starts coming loose and you put fresh tape on top of it, it's only a matter of time before it will unravel. You can't put...
Look, you can't even get it on. It's not even sticking. It slid right off because that tape is wet. Is part of the reason that these guys have already fought and maybe they're overly overly cautious of each other?
Could be. Sometimes that does happen. A lot of times guys will learn each other's styles and what they're all about. And in many instances, they become overly respectful of each other.
Lunging left hook, missed by Gutierrez. Just across the street some 36 years ago, that lunging left hook worked nicely for Joe Frazier against Muhammad Ali at Madison Square Garden.
March 8, 1971.
He is not meeting with the same success with that left hook.
No punches.
Gutierrez has to know that if he's going to win this fight, he's got to get close, he's got to throw those punches, and it's just something that it's either inside of him that he's refusing to do it, maybe there's too much respect, maybe he just can't do it. There's that lunging right hand that he leads off with, he walks in with the right hand. See if he does it again. He tries to get close, and he leads with the right hand. Boom, over the top, there it is. He's just too short.
Right there, no punches.
That jab isn't working. I don't even know when the last time he threw a jab. He comes in with that right hand. He tries to get close, and then the lead right hand.
He's not a big puncher, just based on his resume. 6 knockouts in 17 previous bouts. I don't know if Chapman's a big puncher either, based on the level of his competition, but he does show 20 in 22 wins. Cut on the left eyelid of Chapman. Don't know what that was caused from. We'll check with the commission.
And the way they are in close, and with the way that Gutierrez keeps his head down, keeping his head.
Final seconds of the 9th round. Chapman dealing with adversity. Cut. Left eye.
Accidental flash.
I believe I saw the referee say that it was the head. He pointed to his head.
Last round, we come out, you touch gloves. Accidental.
We get the confirmation from Keneza. Accidental clash of heads. Under New York rules, if this bout was to be stopped because of an accidental clash of heads, they'd go to the scorecards. And they do score partial rounds in New York, so they score whatever transpired at the time that the bell sounds to begin the round.
Let the round finish.
Suck it up.
Don't score.
So Chapman cut left eye. See if Gutierrez can test Chapman, who's relatively inexperienced with no amateur experience. I'm sure he was cut in tough man competition though, so the cut should not bother him tremendously. A combination there from Gutierrez.
Those tough man competition, they came out. The bell rang, sometimes they were 1-minute bouts, and they would just throw and throw and throw. Quite frankly, I think that's what Chapman should have done here. Just come out, empty your guns.
And suddenly it's like Gutierrez saw the blood of Chapman and he's been invigorated.
It's too late to get hungry. You should have been hungry about 9 rounds ago. A lot of physical activity, leaning on each other, pushing on each other. But all that pushing is scoring points for either guy. That's the kind of stuff. Even though it's really not that effective, Chapman's letting the hands go. I think this is just icing on the cake of his victory coming up.
J.D. Chapman, caught left eye, round 9. Accidental clash of heads. Is Gutierrez trying to muster one more rally here?
It's always one punch at a time from Gutierrez. He comes in, tries to launch the left hook or that overhand right. Let's see if he leads with the right hand. Bang, right hand to the body. He should forget about body shots now. What is he trying to do, just win around? He's going to knock him out.
Right there, gentlemen. Right there, gentlemen. No punches.
Time just withering away.
Nice attempt at a right uppercut by Chapman. I am telling you, I got to get his address. I'm going to send him a tape of for me.
Nothing. Right there, gentlemen.
I've always said if you're this big, you've got to be forming a listen to one of those guys.
Chapman nearly walked into a right hand. Did not get caught totally clean. Closing seconds of the bout. J.D. Chapman deals with a cut in round number 9. Rematch with Edward Gutierrez in the books. We'll tell you the judges' scorecards and have a decision in just a moment.
I better win this one. Come on, this fight's mine. Come on. You're a lot better than the last fight. Come on, I had the better shots.
8-6.
I had the better shots. I had the better shots. Come on, give me this win. Come on, let a 40-year-old be the 22-year-old. Come on. Come on. Come on, this fight's mine. Do a lot better than that.
I got nothing. Eddie
Give it to me. Give it to me. Come on, this fight's mine. Hey, the guy was.
It's Gotham Boxing from the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City. Bob Papa and Randy Gordon. There's J.D. Chapman from Arkansas, 22-0 with 20 knockouts. He goes 10 rounds with Edward Gutierrez, a rematch of a December bout in which Chapman won a 12-round decision. How do they fare this time around? Ring announcer Joe Antonacci.
Boxing fans, after 10 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Tom Schreck sees the bout 97-93. Judge Larry Hazard Jr. agrees 97-93. And Judge Melvina Lathan sees the bout 96-94. All for your winner by unanimous decision, J.D. the Natural Chapman.
Chapman won a unanimous decision. I had 97-94 for Chapman. 98-94.
How about a big round of applause also for Edward Gutierrez?
But he may have robbed himself by not being busy, Randy.
Yeah, I don't know if Chapman actually won this fight or Gutierrez lost it. All I know is that Gutierrez just was not busy enough.
So Chapman Chapman remains undefeated. Gutierrez goes home with his second loss. A lot more boxing still to come. We have middleweights on tap next. Paul Van